Okay, so this is part 2 of episode 1. We switched cameras because the other one couldn't catch the TV and we couldn't show the footage, and it pretty much cut off. So we're going to continue this episode from this camera. And as you can see here, this is World Championship Wrestling in '88 on TBS, national TV. It's the big other company besides the WWF, NWA, WWF. But this is when it transitioned to WCW when Turner bought it. And that's Lex Luger. He was a big star for WCW. He feuded with Ric Flair and the Horsemen. He was in the Horsemen. They did that whole thing. And so there's proof right there. But all these people say that WCW took all their time. No, they were all there first. Okay. And so there's Luger, feuded with the Horsemen. Okay. Here's the AWA. That's who it is. That's Hogan. It's the Hulkster. In the AWA. The AWA was not some no company. That was the third biggest company. There was the NWA, there was WWF, and then there was the AWA. They're the three big ones. Just like now it's TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE. Now he's hulking up. Like, okay? Yeah, the whole super villain here, though. Yeah, except here, Terry Boulder, the super heel. Already an established guy. You gotta remember, AWA was on ESPN. That's a major national TV show. Okay, so he's already a major star. WWF just stole. See, when Vince McMahon, there were all the territories, wasn't there, Joe? It was like, and you stayed in your area. Like WWF was the New York area. New York. WCW was down south. Georgia. Memphis. The USW. All the territories. You stayed in your territory back in the old days. And you all, if you wanted to switch talent, it wasn't a thing of stealing or taking talent or anybody jumping anywhere. You just borrowed talent, and everybody was cool with each other. There was no competing. But then Vince Jr., when he took over the company from his daddy, Vince Sr., the WWF, he decided, well, I'm a greedy fuck. I'm going to fuck all over these companies and rape them of their talent and take everyone and make mine national and fuck everyone else and steal all their talent because I can't come up with anyone. That's the truth. So everyone always says, oh, Turner, WCW, they tried to take WWF out of business. They're the good guys. They're not in it. Vince is the one who raped and fucked everyone over. I'll tell you right now, if there wasn't a WCW, WWF would be like it is today. It'd be the same. There would be. Okay, look, there's Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. The Rockers, this is the AWA, okay? The AWA, alright, the NWA has the Rock and Roll Express. We all know the Rock and Roll Express. They're one of the most famous tag teams ever, right? Well, the Rockers were a rip-off of them, and they're from the AWA, and Vince stole them to make his because he didn't have the Rock and Roll Express. Okay? He stole a team that rips off a team. A team, yeah, thank you. Okay, there's Kurt Hennig, Jerry Lawler, USWA, yeah. Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall were AWA Tag Team Champions. They already established stars on ESPN, for the AWA, which was Vern Gagne's company, and he had Eric Bischoff run it. So Eric Bischoff was running the AWA before he even went to WCW in '91. So I don't know why everybody says he's not a wrestling guy. Another more bullshit misconception. I was gonna say I did a project on Eric Bischoff. Pretty sure I did a thorough project, and I'm pretty sure that he was a wrestling guy. Vern Gagne couldn't keep up with the WWF and shit like that. And he hired Eric Bischoff to keep up with the times, and because he likes it old school, just like Okay, what do we got here? Oh, there's Bob Orton. You know what this is? This is Starrcade '83. Starrcade was the major big daddy of them all in wrestling, is it not? Starrcade. The most famous dog collar match in the history of wrestling. There's Sergeant Slaughter in the AWA as Sergeant Slaughter. LOD, the Road Warriors, all stolen. And they were all in the NWA, the AWA first. Yeah, but what was I saying? Starrcade. 83. WrestleMania. 84. Yeah, WrestleMania ripped them off a year later. That's some coincidence.
San Diego, California.
There's Jesse the Body. WWF's big guy. Oh, AWA. Mean Gene. AWA. All stolen first.
You know who paid for WrestleMania? Waiting 7 days.
The Crockett's. The Crockett's paid for WrestleMania. Explain.
The Crockett's.
The Crockett's paid for WrestleMania because because Ted Turner sold the spot, like on television, the 605. He sold the spot to WWF, and he wanted them gone, so he had to pay Vince McMahon.
To get him off
and
the
that money
network.
that they got from them, he used to fund WrestleMania.
Yeah. Vince tried to go under and take the WCW in the first place before. Always trying to rape and destroy every other company for himself. And everyone acts like he's just this, he's this genius. No, he's not. He's a greedy scumbag.
So he's like, he didn't even pay for his first WrestleMania. So if it was a bust, that wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
He didn't pay for it.
Yeah. And
so when he goes on TV and says he took a risk at WrestleMania, he's a fucking liar. He didn't risk anything.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's even on that WCW DVD that he made.
It's even on his bullshit DVDs.
But people don't pay attention when they watch the stupid things.
They only watch half of it, honestly. I think they fall asleep after a while. I'm pretty sure, because I did.
Brittany did.
Did you? That's funny. That's good. That's great.
Okay. So I want to continue with this really quick. Okay. Jesse Bonaventura, Mean Gene, AWA. Vince McMahon just raped all the talent and stole it. Okay.
Oh, my favorite part.
What else was I? What else did we want to go into? Oh.
Rain Man over here?
Oh yeah. I have news for everybody. All the marks. Okay, Cactus Jack. You know,
household name.
He was a big name. He was a big name.
Obviously 98 too, but I mean.
He was a big name before WWF made him Mankind, and Vince did all that making Mankind, blah blah blah. But in WCW in '93, let's see, he feuded with Sting, Vader for the world title. I'm pretty sure you don't feud with the world champion and Sting and all that if you're a nobody on national TV and WCW.
And Vader here. When he was in WCW, he was like a main. Like,
he was the world champion. He was
he was that Japanese wrestler guy, straight out of Japan with the masks and shit. And he was a main guy. He was a badass.
Yeah. And so Cactus Jack was a main established star on national TV with WCW. Okay, so for anyone to say, WCW just takes all their talent. It's the other way around, actually. WWF got all their leftovers that they just threw out because they had a roster of over 200 guys and way too much talent. Stunning Steve Austin. Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The man who's...
man ever.
Huh?
Most unprofessional move ever. For him.
Yeah.
For him, no show and shit.
Yeah. Okay, Steve Austin. He was a big star in WCW. Feuded with...
He had a 6-month television title reign, and he had I think he had I think he had the title for 8-9 months. I think he had the U.S. title for 8-9 months. You don't get that title for that long.
Great feud of Ricky the Dragon.
Why do you think every time they name all the U.S. champions, the first name you always hear is Austin?
Yeah. Feuded with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Feuded with the Horsemen. Arn Anderson.
Tag team champ, too.
Yeah, all that. With Brian Pillman. They were the Hollywood Blondes. Okay, because it's not Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't mean he wasn't a big star. Everyone,
Well, let's face
that's
it.
not fair for people to say just because you don't have a world title, you're not an established star.
Let's honestly face it. Stunning Steve Austin is just as cheesy as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, Stone Cold, if you think that's
even worse.
The term Stone Cold is just Vince's way to market for kids with merchandise. Stone Cold, it's catchy. It goes into your head and brainwash you. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay? He's just very good on merchandise, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't create anything.
And in the great Vince's mind, Chili McFreeze.
Yeah, okay.
Chili McFreeze.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but... Okay, Steve Austin. Stunning Steve Austin. That was an okay character. It's not to the hype and popularity of Stone Cold. I understand that. We're not trying to prove that. We're trying to prove that he was a star. He was an arrogant, pretty boy, stunning Steve, and he was kind of like the Chris Jericho character in WCW. And in '99 WWF, the arrogant, goof. You know what I mean? He was a
goofball.
Yeah, the blonde, pretty, goof, and that was good. It worked for him. Just because it's not Stone Cold doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea, right? Okay. Now, this whole thing we have here is the search for Cactus Jack, which was a storyline which gave Cactus Jack a lot of airtime. Oh, what's this? WCW Saturday Night. There's Steve Austin teaming with Ric Flair to take on Sting. All the major players in WCW. So if you're a nobody, why would you be main eventing with the main guys? Doesn't it seem like a big ego thing to me with all these guys where they say, I never got anything, I never...
It's never enough.
It's never enough, is it?
Just give them the world title, bitch, they only hit it once.
Yeah. It's not fair that Bischoff's always the fall guy. Okay, so... Oh, look who it is. Luger in WCW. First. In 88.
And he goes to WF and goes back
Yeah,
to
and he goes to WF to be Vince's replacement for Hogan. They gave him that... What was it? Remember the Lex Express? Remember it was the big... it was that big... that whole van. Or no, what do you call it? The bus. You know when people have that bus to tour? They gave him this whole tour bus like a rock star. And they called it the Lex Express. And they pushed him and built him. This is WF. They pushed him. The Lex Express. He went all over the country. He wore the American tights. Because he was their next Hogan. The big muscle guy. Vince always pushes for his big muscle guys.
He won the 94
without any
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they have no...
That's something, you have to be like a top guy to win that.
All WF's guys that they try to push have no mic skills. Look at the Ultimate Warrior. He couldn't talk. Hogan, they can't, you know what I mean? They struggle to... But there are these big muscle guys. That Vince doesn't like the small wrestlers. He likes all the big muscle guys. That's who he keeps pushes. So he dragged out Hogan from 84, when he beat the Sheik for the title. He had the title for 99% of the time, all the way up until 92.
Think about it, he beat Sheik. He didn't lose until 88. Right? I think he
84. Yeah, and then
he lost it, and then he got cheated when he lost it because they had to do that because you can't just lose.
Yeah,
everybody. And he got it again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think, when he got it again, it was 89. No, he didn't. He won it 89. He won it the end of 89. No, the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he beat Macho Man for it. And he loses it. That's what. And it's pretty much every other WrestleMania won it.
Every WrestleMania, pretty much Hogan's the main event.
Oh, he
against Slaughter. Except for the tournament with Macho Man. Yeah.
3, not 4, 5, 6, 7,
Sid
8,
Justice.
8,
Remember
9,
Sid? Yeah.
Even 10.
Yeah.
He
wasn't at 10. He was... Or no, 9. Outside with Brett. Yeah, so they tried to replace him with Luger after they dragged him out all those years. And you got to remember, the steroid trials put WWF very bankrupt. And it was just old news and dead. And Hogan was dead and they dragged him out and it got old.
Vince was promising you opportunity.
Yeah, he didn't have to pay them. He was promising people's kind of opportunities because he couldn't pay them. Because the steroid trials got him all bankrupted by 92. In 93, 94, Hogan was old news, dragged out for 10 years. And it was all bullshit, okay? I know he tried to find his replacement with Luger because he has to be a big muscle guy. Luger didn't have the mic skills or the drive to really, so that flopped. He didn't want Bret Hart because Bret Hart's a wrestler and this and that, and he's not a big muscle guy. But guess what? Bret Hart, because of the fans made Bret Hart, and he had no choice but to use Bret Hart.
He's the People's champion.
Vince never wins because the guys that always get the push at the end of the day, no matter how much he shoves guys on you, like Luger's, your Randy Orton's, and stuff like that, it's always the fans. Look at Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, look at Daniel Bryan.
He doesn't want Daniel Bryan. He doesn't like guys with beards and long hairs that are small.
He wants Randy Orton,
but the fans
love Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so Vince doesn't win in the end. So Bret Hart was their guy, right? And then what does he do? Him and Shawn, they fuck Bret Hart over. In 97 at the Montreal Screwjob, he ends up fucking Bret over anyway. For Shawn.
He deserved that punch in the face.
Okay, so... Blah, blah, blah.
Spit.
Oh, let's go to... Okay. This is going completely off to our next topic, so I don't really want to go into this thing yet. So we'll just finish up our myth about how WCW took all the WF guys. Did we pretty much... What else did we miss, Joe, honestly?
We missed... let's see.
Before we go to the next topic.
Who else did WF steal?
Every single guy was NWA or AWA first. Roddy Piper,
Garvin.
He was at the first Starrcade in '83. He took on Greg Hammer in that famous dog collar match.
I think he was the only guy to be in the first Starrcade
and the first WrestleMania the next year. Yeah.
And I think you know what? He was pretty much in the main event of both.
And yeah,
he was.
Roddy Piper ain't never got no world title.
Never needed it.
See, back then, why is it that Hogan could rule the wrestling world till he just got old and have the title forever? And no one bitches about that now, but they bitch at WCW. Well, they never pushed anyone. Hogan hogged the whole fucking thing in the 80s. But no one ever... And look at...
My question is, in actuality, who didn't WCW push?
Okay, well, we're going to be getting to that topic. But right now, I want to finish up the myth about WCW stealing the WF guys. I pretty much think we...
It is a myth.
Yeah. It was Vince's myth to destroy WCW's credibility to the new audience, the new fans coming up with his DVDs.
There's bullshit DVDs.
Yeah. Everybody, even Jim Ross, the Southern guy, JR.
Yeah, the Southern guy.
He was WCW. He left WCW for less pay to go to WF. He never even wanted to be JR the Gimmick. Vince threw that on him with the cowboy hat. You know that?
I remember. Yeah.
I don't understand.
He just wanted to be like
Vince.
Because when he was first there, he was just Jim Ross.
Why does Vince abuse him so bad? Remember when he fired JR how many times, but he just keeps coming back as a fan popularity? And how about remember when JR was gone with colon surgery and Vince in 05 did that Raw with the surgery? Remember he played the doctor in the operating room and he made.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and Jim Ross, right? He's working on Jim Ross and he's the doctor pulling stuff out of Jim Ross's ass. Did you ever see that Raw in 05?
That's terrible.
Yeah, off this colon surgery just to make fun of Jim Ross. So Vince McMahon could be a complete scumbag and abuse everyone. But let's all hate Eric Bischoff for changing the wrestling world and getting us away from WWE's cheesy crap that no one wanted to watch anymore because by 94, no one was watching by then.
Even when you look at it with Bischoff, right? What he does. Like, they like to say, like, oh, he likes to take shots. I'm like, the only time I've ever watched WCW and saw real shots being taken was when Russo was running it.
Yeah. People don't realize.
With the JR? That's Russo.
That was all Russo, not Bischoff.
That was all Vince, man.
Yeah, remember Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
That was Russo, his personal thing. He didn't like JR because when they were working in WF together, because JR is an old school type guy. He likes he likes wrestling.
Russo's the
guy. He's the Crash TV guy. He's the one who made DX, which is the ripoff of the NWO. It's the Click leftovers. Okay, he's the one who wrote The Rock shit, Austin stuff. He was the writer. All these people hate Russo because of WCW in 2000. But guess what? Without Russo, you don't have WWF's crushed and sunk, and WCW wins. He wrote all the material for
And all the shit he did in TNA too, though.
It's good stuff.
It's good shit.
Russo's a good writer. You just need to get him balanced and that's why they brought Bischoff back in 2000 to save it.
We're like, look at this clown. Like,
that's why
we gotta fix this.
Because they got him out. He got
the
job off the name recognition of what he was doing for WWF.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one last thing on this topic I want to bring up since we were talking about that whole. Okay. About how. What time are we on now, Brittany?
17 minutes.
17 minutes? Okay, well, we're gonna end this episode. We're gonna go to on episode 2 we'll go into the next topic and everything I want to get to on this one. So this is the end of topic number 1 and episode number 1. And that was breaking the myth of WCW stealing WWF guys.
See ya, kids.
See ya, Shane, old bitch.